She flirted with me while in a relationship, we went on, now I am unsure if I should go on. Last December, I met this girl online, let's call her Susan. We started talking due to something strictly professional, but ended up talking more due to attending the same university, doing the same course and having been born and grown up on the same island. We kept on talking, with her initiating more of the conversations than I would. I felt weird as we were not that close, that she would send me stuff on Instagram and start talking to me out of thin air. I was living in Italy and had just been let down by a previous partner, let's call her Paula, no actual relationship but someone that I did develop feelings for. At the time, I was feeling terrible and very lonely. Susan had a boyfriend, 7 years relationship, so I genuinely thought we were just talking as friends and nothing more. We got to talk every day the whole day, and one day I come back home from the club at 3 in the morning, tipsy but not actually drunk. She was up and we started talking. She eventually said something, and it was the perfect opportunity to flirt with her. I backed up and told her to avoid saying stuff like it, so I would not hit on her. She said it was no problem, so we started flirting. Her boyfriend eventually found out and broke up with her. She was bad for some days, but not what you would expect from someone who just broke up a 7-year relationship. She said that she wanted to break up before because she liked, but did not love him anymore since more than a year. She didn't do it because of Corona, so she wouldn't be lonely and it could be mixed quarantine feelings. We continued to talk and eventually started to flirt, and so on, but all online. I then moved from Italy to the Netherlands. We live far away from each other, as in more than a month's salary just to get there, small island in the middle of nowhere, 1 flight going and 1 back a week, or 6h by boat. Still, I went to visit some relatives there, and we spent 6 weeks together. She met my whole family in that time. I was really happy with her. I came back to the Netherlands, and she's moving to France, to a city 6h from mine, due to her own life plans, no influence of mine whatsoever. I am moving to as my work where I live is due in September and there will be no contract extension, so I could move anywhere, and I am applying for some jobs. Some in her city, some back in Italy, some neither. And now the entire point of writing all of this, she loves me, I also love her. But I cannot stop thinking that the same will happen to me as it happened to her ex. We've known each other only for around 9 months, we fight a lot. I believe it's mostly due to distance. And I have considered having a long-distance relationship, as it seems that I won't get a job in her city. Nevertheless, due to her history of infidelity, in which I also was a culprit, I do recognize that, I would like some advice before moving on with this. Family is divided on the topic. Should I go on with it, and build a relationship, even if long distance? Should I give it a shot? Should I try to see/feel something that I might have missed? Feel free to share any thoughts. Some additional info that may be relevant. We fight a lot. Every week there's something to fight about, and fights last for days, 7h time zone differences. We had a rough start. I had my head on Paula and all my mistakes with her. Netherlands' culture is very far away from mine and I could not adapt and form romantic relationships. I have enough friends, yes, but I never even went on a date here as I find the city, 150k people, and the people too boring to even bother trying something, even with the other foreigners. I am grateful for all I learned here and the work I did, but I genuinely hate living here and am extremely miserable. Due to work, I lived in the Netherlands for a year, moved to Italy for 10 months and had to move back to the Netherlands. I loved my time in Italy, and it was the most fun I ever had in my life, by far. Apart from Paula, I was casually involved with other people. I was more engaged in my personal life, my love life, and even work itself. I moved countries 5 times in the last 4 years. 3 of those were to the other side of the globe. I had a 2-year relationship that only ended because I had to move again, and there was no way for her to move with me. I do not want to move again and start my life from scratch once more. I want to stop, get an actual good apartment instead of getting the cheapest thing I can find, as I will only live there for less than a year, so why bother? I want to build a family. Create roots in a place that I enjoy. I hate being alone all the time when I'm not at work. If I manage to get a job in her city, I do not speak any French. So interpersonal relationships / finding friends will be difficult. I love Susan, but I feel like I had stronger feelings for Paula. I did not love Paula. But the fact that I don't feel the same intensity for Susan bothers me. Comment. Until you get a handle on fighting, I don't think you should consider any reason to develop a relationship. You both seem naive, it's hard to believe you're fighting about anything. This relationship sounds like a problem. She's coming back to you because you liked her, you've gone back to her BC she flirted while in a relationship. You'd be better off starting completely over. In France she'll find a boyfriend, fast. Everyone kisses one another. Do not start a long-distance relationship. It's just not worth it. Even if she didn't have a history of infidelity. What do you gain from long distance? You don't really have a GF, at least not one you can spend time with and enjoy life with, but at that same time you are taking yourself, and her, off the market, so neither of you can find someone who is actually in the same place as you. Plus you already mentioned fighting over the distance. There is no upside here. Nothing but pain and ultimately ending up probably hating each other if you try to date long distance. Just live your lives wherever they take you and meet someone in the same city as you. What starts in chaos, ends in chaos. You will never be a good partner. Someone flirts with you and you have no boundaries or morals, yeah, go with her, and if she does it to you, you deserve it. Good luck. Poor Susan, let her go, and find a real man. Next story 2. I cheated on my abuser and I feel so lost. Hi everyone, I have no one else I can tell this to, but I cheated on my husband who abuses me. This is long, so I apologize. I just started realizing in the past few years that the way he treats me is so off. He's very emotionally abusive and manipulative. He's even bragged to me about how great he is at lying, manipulating and gaslighting people. He also has prior DV charges because he used to hit his ex. However, I literally didn't know up until a year or so ago, when we've been together for almost 9 years, married for 6. There were so many red flags in the beginning, like him still talking to his ex, but I had come out of a traumatic relationship before that, so his red flags didn't seem like much. He's also 11 years older than me and talks/treats me like a child. His abuse is mainly emotional/mental, but the 2 times I really tried standing my ground he pushed me into a wall, then the other time he grabbed my face and held me down. If I'm in any type of mood other than happy, he's mad. If I object to anything in the relationship, it's an immediate fight and brings up every mistake, even though I am genuinely trying to fix things. He uses me for sex as a way to release his frustrations. It makes me feel dirty even typing that. We have 2 kids and I do most everything for them, especially for our oldest who is autistic. If I ask for help he acts totally clueless and will mess up on purpose. Anyways, because of all that I became so numb to him. Mentally I've checked out of the marriage and have been wanting to leave for 2 to 3 years. I finally took a big step in getting a job, my first step in getting away, which was not easy. He usually convinces me that the job isn't worth it and he buys me all I need, and he loves our time at home, even though it's miserable. At my job I realized how full of life I really am and I feel like me again. I had to spend about 80 HRS together with a co-worker to train me, and in those 80 HRS we found we had so much in common and clicked so well. He ended up asking me on a date and I accepted. I lied to my husband that I was hanging with a girl co-worker at the mall. He hates the mall. Before I went though he told me, if you ever leave me our children won't have any parents, cause you'll be dead and I'll be in prison. I know it was wrong and so risky, but it felt amazing. He's actually my age and is so sweet. I forgot I could even feel like this. At the end of the date, we kissed and I literally felt on air. My date knows my situation but not how bad it really is. I know I want to leave my husband so bad but I feel trapped. I feel like he will hurt me or will at least try to ruin my life. When I've tried to break up with him many times before, he turns into a devil, but then once I'm over it he is so loving. I'm scared of losing my happy place, work, because he'll stop watching our kids. I have no family by me, all my friends are gone, and my mom, after I told her all this, told me, well, it'll be awfully hard to find someone as a single mom. I just want out. I cry every day. The only thing that gives me hope is my crush and my kids. I know I'm terrible for cheating, but I don't love him anymore. I feel forced to stay. Comnet. I know you're so right. I will never tell him, as he has told me many times he would kill me and the guy if he caught me cheating, and I don't want to put the other guy / me / the kids at risk because I do believe he will do something crazy. I'm so sorry your mom is taking this stance with you. She's wrong, but even if she were correct, wouldn't it be lovely to be alone, and just be able to breathe? The only mistake you potentially will make with all this is thinking that you should leave and jump right into something with this other guy. You need to be alone. That way, you grow to learn what you actually want from your life. And I guarantee you it won't be one abusive partner. Go see a lawyer, love. They normally allow you the initial appointment for free. It definitely would. I daydream about my own little space where I'm alone with my kids. I know you're 100% right, I need to figure out who I am again. I'm just so scared to take that first step. I feel like I'm exaggerating the abuse and that I owe him the respect of telling him I want a divorce. I think if he verbally threatened your life, which is super serious, you should consider talking to a lawyer who can help you think through a divorce and some resources, like for domestic violence, and to help you protect your custody and your general situation. Under threat of your life, I would say, you don't owe him or your mother the respect of telling him or either one X, Y, or Z. I would not tip your hand until you have a plan. When I left my abuser, after 7 years, I had a couple people around me who recognized it, my desperate need to escape, before I ever did, and they were there to catch me. Thank fucking God I didn't have to rely on him. I left that apartment and never looked back. He tried to get me back and wouldn't sign papers, stalked me. But I got smart, fast, after getting scared by his increasingly violent language and behavior, ultimately refused contact, and had him serve the papers so I could stay safe. He ended up taking over the lease, and holding onto it for years, which I had secured for us originally as a couple, but I got to safely move on with my life. My mother also took his side. And stayed in touch with him. We didn't have children together, thankfully. I'm also recently heard from a subsequent ex I had never met, that he did have children with, that he beat her severely. It sounded to me like she could have been killed, though she didn't necessarily say that.